My name is Ruben Austria.
And I'm Raphael Davis.
Welcome to Learning Local Community Real Estate Investing. Raphael, Happy New Year,
Happy New
2022.
Year, man.
We are
Another
back.
year?
We are back
Absolutely, man.
with a
I'm glad
vengeance.
2022 is over.
Woo! Isn't everybody? And everybody that I talk to really is basically saying the same thing. It's crazy. But
Right,
like I said, we're positive. You're positive. I'm positive. Everyone I talk to says and agrees this is like the calm before the storm, right?
absolutely. Yep.
Okay. So it's going to be an amazing year. I think the best year yet, right? What is that saying? It's the most
Always.
millionaires are built after the recession or something like that, or something like that. Recession.
Absolutely. Where there's trouble, there's opportunity.
Where there's trouble, there's opportunity. Exactly, exactly. We're here
Absolutely.
to solve problems, right?
Right.
Solve problems. Perfect. Well, I
Mhm.
really appreciate you, as a broker partner and referral partner, Raphael, and absolutely, let's get this show on the road. I'm going to start by just introducing, what
Mhm.
we're up to, why we're here, and what we're doing. Very simple. You guys, when I say you guys, anyone who's interested in real estate investing in their community, this is the show for you. This is the first of many shows, Wealth Wednesday, I'm going to like to call it. But we're really going to be creating the space where you're able to learn about real estate investing from my trusted partners, and also from investors who are investing in the particular area that we're in. So currently today we're talking about San Diego, California, our current hometown. All right. So who am I and
Absolutely.
why am I here? Well,
Mhm.
I am essentially I brand myself as a local community investor. What that means is I really believe anybody in any community can invest in real estate. I really believe real estate is the path to the future. I'm a former financial planner, own an insurance agency, but also do loans and lending with my partner here, Raphael. Um, but really, the gist of why we're here is that the business in general, like businesses in general, are going to be disrupted by this thing we call live video, right? So I'm sure you guys are all aware of what that is. Live video is essentially transforming the way we buy things, the way we buy products, buy services. And I think, and I know that in this particular industry, Raphael, there are three things that we're working to do with live video and the three benefits that are going to come out of it. First of all, is brand transparency. Everybody wants to deal with someone they trust. Everyone has access to information, but you want to get the information from someone you know, like, and trust. Right? Right,
Absolutely.
Raphael? I mean,
Absolutely.
this
Absolutely.
platform is going to allow us to collaborate and meet with our partners, referral partners. I mean, I think Raphael, we've known each other for a few years. We've only met in person once or twice. Is that right? I
Yeah,
mean,
just a couple of times.
but
Right.
all the other times are virtual, right? I mean,
Right. Virtual, man. That
this
like
this is the way to
definitely the
go.
future.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely. This is the way it is now, and only going to get more down the road. And again, you don't need any public speaking experience, Raphael. You're fine in front of it, but there's a lot of people that do.
Right.
So the hope of creating this platform is such that it helps not only the people that watch and gain information from our subject matter experts like Raphael and like our featured guest Victor Bell, but the ability to just be able to be here and talk and present who we are, Raphael. I mean, that's priceless, right? Would you say?
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's in real time, which is great.
And it's in
So
real time.
branding, yeah, talking about what you do, like it's a perfect platform. All you have to do is log on here,
All you
watch
gotta
me
do is show
live.
up.
Yeah, show up, right? Just yeah, that's why I say log on, but just show up and contribute and learn and everything that you need. It's going to be there. It's awesome. I love the platform.
All right, awesome. Well, hey, I just wanted to put this up there. It's an ode to my buddy Keith Carberry, who I started this idea of creating video information about. See, I was in Massachusetts at the time. We were talking about Milton, Massachusetts. This is just a snippet from then. But literally, I'm not here just to talk about live video. I've been talking about video in general since 2007. I just wanted to let you guys know that.
Right.
And really the purpose of us with community real estate investment, along with this platform. And like Raphael said, we want to promote your brand, build your referral networks, and serve the communities by essentially just providing free education to anyone that wants it. You're in San Diego, you want to invest in real estate, hey, we're going to make ourselves available. So,
Absolutely.
And right now, I'll let you guys know I'm building this in public along with my team, along with Raphael, referral partners. We're building it in public. So really, this first quarter is going to be beta, and we're going to be growing in Q2, growing and more officially doing it in Q2. Just this really just finding all these partners that are willing to be part of this. So we're actively seeking people just like Raphael, who want to inspire, educate, and empower people to make money in real estate, Ralph, right? Isn't that what we're
Hey, absolutely. That's what we're after.
That's what we're after.
Yep, that's what we're after, and solving problems. You got things that you want to do in real estate. This is the place to be. Chances are you're going to speak to someone or see someone here that's going to have an answer for you, for sure.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely. So hey, I love showing this picture, and I love talking about you and your brand. It's time for you to shine, Raphael. I think I want to just mention how much of a stand-up professional you are, how good at what you do, how good you are at what you do, how much you serve, and also want to let everyone know Raphael is also a double black belt in jiu-jitsu.
Second degree. Yep.
I'm sorry. What degree?
Second degree. That's what double black belt or second degree. Second degree black belt.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Second degree.
So Raphael, you use this brand, and just tell us a little bit how you incorporate it into your business.
Well, the thing about it is, if you're a martial artist, any martial artist, right, you're expected to have a certain level when you reach the black belt level, right? Because you've gone through all the belts. And so you get to this black belt level and you're expected to know. So when someone comes and they ask you a question, you have to know, you have to be able to teach, you have to be able to provide the answers, right? And so in doing so, I'm going to be a martial artist for the rest of my life, no matter what I'm doing. And I just brought that over. Yeah, that's who I am. It's who I am naturally. It's what I love to do. I enjoy it. And so guess what? I have to also be that in my, day-to-day life and in my business, in my field, in my career. So that's why, I came up with the Black Belt Mortgage Pro. It used to just be the hard money black belt. Right. So when I first started some years ago, I was saying the hard money black belt. I was a black belt at the time, and I hustle and I grind, but then I got to know even more. It's like putting on those degrees. So as I started to put on those degrees, the hard money black belt kind of faded away a little bit, and it became the Black Belt Mortgage Pro, because eventually I'm going to keep getting degrees, and I want to have the whole mortgage industry encompassed when it comes to financing, originating loans, whether it's bridge loans, fix and flips, conventional, VA, VA loans, conventional, FHA loans, multifamily loans. I want to be that Black Belt Mortgage Pro. So when you think about me, that's what you're going to know, and that's what you're going to get. You're going to know, guess what? That guy's going to have the answer. And something else, like it being in the martial arts world, if there's something that you don't know, there's always someone who does know. Right. So it meshes perfectly. So Black Belt Mortgage Pro, I got an answer for you.
All right.
I'll have exactly what you need.
Let's do this. Okay. I'm going to give you 45 seconds, and I want you to look straight into the camera and give me the commercial for the Black Belt Mortgage Pro.
That's easy. Hey, how you doing, guys? My name is Raphael Davis, aka the Black Belt Mortgage Pro. If you have mortgage needs, any mortgage needs, I'm your person. Just like in martial arts, I'm the same here in the mortgage world. So if you have any mortgage needs, no matter what it is, refinance, purchase, debt consolidation, DSCR loans, bridge loans, you name it, I have the answer for you. The Black Belt Mortgage Pro. Nothing will be left out. No stone will go unturned to get your deal closed. Guaranteed.
I love it, man. I love it. And honestly, this is what everyone should be doing, right? Like, hey, this is who I am, and this is what I'm really good at.
Right. I'm really good at it. And I mean, and if you talk to anyone in the martial arts world, according to them, I'm very good there as well, with some titles under my belt. So, now I'm over here, and I'm it's the same drive. It's the same relentlessness.
I love it, man. I love it.
Never stop.
It's like that saying, you know, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So it's perfect.
Absolutely.
It's
Hey,
perfect, man. I really appreciate you, and I'm excited to have you part of this team. So
absolutely. Glad to be here,
um,
man.
all right. So hey, this is what you got to expect every time we get on. We're gonna introduce you
Mhm.
to a local community investor like Raphael. Again, I've created this brand, local community investor. But I'm essentially handing it off and really like letting people like Raphael borrow it because again, he's a local community investor. He cares about the community. He's obviously a real estate investment professional. We're going to give you a mortgage market update of the week, so you understand what's going on, but also can connect with people, especially if you're buying something in San Diego. You want to connect with someone who understands not only the rates, but how it attaches to the market.
Mhm.
And then we're going to introduce you to local investors every week who are doing it, right? Because as much as this is just about educational, people need to be inspired that this is possible, right, Ralph? Like it's like people are looking for other things to do, other ways to make money. And real estate's been there for a long time, guys.
Right.
Very right. I don't think, and at the same time, everyone has a local community they invest in. I mean, and I didn't say
Absolutely.
that in the beginning. That's my tagline. Um, but so let's just get going with it, Ralph.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you take the mortgage market update of the week, and I'll we'll
Hey, how you doing? The Black Belt Mortgage Pro. Really quick mortgage market update of the week. Excuse me for looking down. The reason why I was looking down because, as you know, the market has been up and down, mainly up. And so I was checking to see if there's a time, time to time where the markets are exactly. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to pull it up. So I just go to early this morning, 30-year fix, about five and a quarter, 5.5. That's with the FHA, which is a very popular program because it's only 3.5% down. Conventional 30-year fix was about 5 and 3 quarters, whereas conventional 30-year fix was still a little north of 6%. Now, what does this mean? It just means that here's where it's at here in San Diego. Since we're talking about the local market, the housing market here is down, so you're not paying those interest rates on deals that are super, super high or through the roof. Believe it or not, we've had constant decline. So it's good for some, kind of bad for others. The good thing about it, what I'm seeing people who are taking advantage of the market right now in Southern California or San Diego. And believe it or not, we have people moving in. They want to come here. They want to move in. They want to retire. They've been thinking about it because they want to be here with all these pretty beaches and everything that we got here. But the market was a little bit out of their reach, and now they're actually coming back. Will we see any relief here soon? Not according to the experts. In fact, the Feds are about to raise the rates again, and we all know what that's about. That's to try to get a cap on inflation. So, is it a time to buy? Always a time to buy, especially here in San Diego. There's never a bad time. Guarantee you everything will rebound and it'll go back up. Appreciation. It's a great investment here in San Diego anytime. That's your market update of the week.
all right, all right, all right. Well, thank you so
Mhm.
much, Ralph. I think it's people. I think it's one of the things that I've said all the time as a basis of why we do this show is that like most people get these updates specifically from Yahoo News or finance or whatever, and
Mhm.
it's a very much a national thing. As we all know, the markets are different wherever you go. That's the reason why
Right.
we're essentially creating this to be a county-wide show because essentially in real estate, all the laws are specifically divided or changed or altered by county, right?
Right.
Anything that
Mhm.
might change as it relates to you investing in a home in the San Diego County, you want to tune in here going forward about what's up because we're going to be
Absolutely.
giving you live information. So, all right. Well, without further ado, Raphael, I want to introduce a friend of both of ours, really, right?
Right.
And the whole purpose of including investors into this show is such that there's so many people that want to invest, so many people that want to do this. Um, and
Right.
sometimes they feel like it's impossible. Well, hey, you know what? We have someone here in the flesh behind the virtual screen, obviously. Talk about what's going on. So we're gonna hit them with our questions that we like to ask every investor. But let's before we start, let's bring them on. Victor Bell, how are you,
Hey,
sir?
how's it
The
going, man?
man.
Thanks for having me today. I appreciate it. How you guys doing?
Well,
Pretty good, pretty good. Victor Bell, aka the General.
the general.
Yeah,
AKA, depending on the day, he does everything. He does everything.
I do. I
Um,
do
hey,
everything.
busy man, man. You can see him everywhere. He's always moving, always. In fact, I can't go to any of my platforms unless I see him. He's going to be there somewhere, which is awesome.
For sure. It's by design.
That exactly. I was just gonna say that's purposeful, right? So,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
hey, so Victor, we're just gonna give you kind of like the obvious questions for someone that might be
Sure.
watching. I mean, first, let's talk about San Diego. We know that
Sure.
you're from Hawaii, not originally, but you're here. You plan on planning more routes than you already have. Why did you choose the San Diego County area?
I honestly I came here to expand my business. I wanted to start a real estate fund and invest in bigger deals, and all of the demographics, psychographics, the rents, government, all these other things. San Diego had all of those pieces that I thought were perfect for investing. So, we uprooted our family and we moved here on that premise, and we started a real estate fund. And we've been raising capital and scouting out deals here and making broker relationships, banker relationships, meeting guys like yourself. So this is a great place for business, for economics, for family, all of that. San Diego has everything to offer here.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more for sure. Uh, Obviously Raphael is also here. I got kids as well, so and I'm learning to surf. So hey, I think it's a bonus.
Yeah, can't
Right.
can't beat it. Got to be by the beach.
All right. So the next obvious question to ask, you're a multifamily investor. I know that you've been involved in a lot of different types of investing. Why
Yes.
specifically multifamily as opposed to all the other types of investing that's out there? Just so everyone knows.
When you look at multifamily, like the way that we are as business level real estate, you're talking about now looking at people all need housing. That's not going to go away. I mean, unfortunately, as much as we try, you can't live inside your phone. So knowing that people are always going to need a place to rent, as housing market goes up and down, it kind of kicks a lot of people out of the opportunity to actually buy their own homes. And there's this massive wave of right now, they're called renters by choice. People are wanting to live in a place and without some of the headaches of fixing a roof and plumbing and stuff like that. So they are moving into multifamily with amenities, gyms, business centers, swimming pools, near shopping, near hospitals, near a better quality of life. And that's why multifamily is better for me as it relates to investing capital than
Right.
retail, office, industrial, things like that. And be honest with you, I started off in residential and a mix of multifamily. I've done retail. I haven't really done office. I've done mobile home parks and small project development, things like that. This one makes the most sense because we all understand it. We all live in a house and or have lived in a house, things like that. So
Got it. Got it. Okay. Last question before we get to our next segment,
sure.
Vic, is obviously you wouldn't be doing this if you didn't believe that there were possibilities in real estate, right?
Absolutely.
What is a 1 minute kind of response to or pitch for anyone that is looking for real estate to be a future in terms of wealth creation? What would you say?
It is the number one wealth creating asset in the real estate segment, in my opinion. And that's a realistic thing. If you look across the board, there's a lot of people who are commercial players. There's a lot of institutional, all the way down to mom and pop. And but multifamily is the one that I think is the most bankable as it relates to. So I just find more people can understand it, and it's a simple investment to make, which is why it's more of a wealth generating vehicle throughout all of real estate, not houses and others.
Right.
Got it. Got it. Got it. All right. Cool. All right. Well, hey, Vic, I'm sure there's going to be a lot more commentary that you can add.
Sure.
We're going to move on to our next segment, which essentially is going to allow us to talk specifically about what's going on in in real estate in general, but also specifically bring it down towards San Diego and local business. Okay, so FYI, I know that it's the beginning of the year. Everyone's starting to think, not multifamily. Vic, you're in my head, man. I'm already saying multifamily investing. I was saying investing, but I was saying multifamily. Everyone's starting to think about what they're going to do this year. So I actually, so this is how it works, right? And this is the reason why this is needed. I Googled San Diego real estate investing, and I had to go to the second page to actually get real results. Everything else was just ads. Right.
Yeah.
So that's the one of the biggest reasons why I feel like we have to do this in order to disrupt what's going on, because people aren't easily getting the information they want. I mean, why would you have to go to the second page of Google just to get real stuff, not sponsored stuff? So that's kind of the reason why, a lot of these things. So obviously, again, Raphael, Victor, you have ability to comment on a lot of these. So these are 2023 predictions or things to consider about what's going to happen in the housing market in San Diego. This is specifically from the San Diego Tribune. So, All right, we have a few headlines to go through, and then halfway through the hour, we're going to open up for Q&A and continue down this road of local news. You're going to be able to hear perspectives from subject matter experts, Raphael and Victor. So let's just, you guys ready to get into this?
Let's go.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do this. All right, well, home prices and sales continue to nosedive. They're saying that San Diego County's median home price has fallen for 6 months in a row, and they're talking about increasing interest rates that are basically to cause the market to slow down. Raphael, I think you'd be the perfect person to comment on this first. What would you say? This is the San Diego Tribune talking about 2023.
Right. You know what? I just kind of touched on that. I alluded to it in the market update. It's definitely happening. It's definitely real. People are actually pulling their properties back from the market, because one while the market here was so hot and the median was so high, people were selling their houses, cashing in. I was in Texas recently, and some of the Texans was like, oh man, we're sick of people, selling houses up in San Diego and other parts and coming down here buying all the houses cash. Well, it's actually slowing down, and it is cooling off, and also if you watch news and different things like that or study the market, it's by design. It's by design, and it's getting the desired effect. Someone who wants to take advantage of this, I would tell them not to shy away, because believe me, if you're here, you're in San Diego County. Doesn't matter where the median's at. The market will rebound. Everything's going to change when rates do eventually come down, which I shouldn't say this, but I predict in 2024 they'll probably be slashed in half. Everything will stabilize. But yeah, very, very, very true in regards to that.
Got it. So Vic, as it relates to what you're doing, obviously you're multifamily, but obviously home and where you're living is people kind of people might be living in their own a multifamily rental unit right now, and they're trying to figure out whether rents are going to go down or go up. I mean,
right.
What do you kind of see with in your side?
When I take a look at this, I think this is indicative too, and the key word in this is not necessarily pricing for homes, it's affordability. So the difference of what's happening is not that affordability for home prices went down, affordability for monthly payments went down. So 6% is what people are faced with, even though that person is still, let's say they can afford $4,000 a month. That same price now, if you buy that property and you put whatever amount of money down, the same $4,000, and I think, Raph, we may have talked about this at some point as well, right? So
absolutely,
they can still afford $4,000. That hasn't changed, but when you weigh that up against the rate that they're borrowing the capital against to purchase that house, that price has to come down to meet that same affordability process for a buyer, which is why rents are still going to continue to maintain and or go up. Because if you say, well, I want to buy something, I'm going to move out of where I'm at, I can still afford $4,000. What will $4,000 get me in rent? You may get a nicer home than you were looking to purchase. The only reason why purchasing was so interesting to people is because you say, well, if I buy this house, prices are going up, prices are going up, values on properties are going up by damn near 10%. I can get into a $1 million home, sell in 2 years, and make 200 grand and pay what I'm paying now for rent. As that dissipates, people have a different choice. They go, you know what? Now I just want the experience. I like this nice house. I'm going to live there for 2 years, only pay 4 grand, 5 grand, and then I'll move into something else with more amenities. So it opens up options. Now that to me is really what's happening on the back end. I think the people who owns $1 million home or that, when they elect to not sell, they're just going to refinance. As rates come back down, the refinance boom will take over again. All the people who couldn't buy, they're going to be doing credit repair. That'll take off, which will also make refinances come again, and that's going to lower the interest rate on buying. But rents will still going to continue to climb because at some point people will sell, refinance, rent their own houses out. It'll eat away at the gap that we see now that's happening in the vacancy that's went from 3 down to like 4. So this is all indicative to what you said earlier. As the Feds raise the rates, which causes it, puts a halt on spending. This is what's supposed to happen. So it's happening the way that we think. It's probably going to take about a year. 2024, it's going to go back, not where it was, but it'll be palatable for the average person in the United States to go back to doing what they were doing.
Perfect.
Right.
Yeah, no, I think you probably answered a lot of questions for anyone who is looking. So that's good stuff. Let's just move on to other local news.
Sure.
All right. Victor, you mentioned affordability, right? Inflation is creating issues with people's electricity to be fair, I know a lot of people that complain about SDG&E, first of all. So this is probably not it's not necessarily related to inflation specifically, all of it anyways. Have you guys recognized that your electric bills are higher than normal? To be honest, it hasn't been top of mind for me. But
not necessarily, but I know it does affect people on a fixed income as it gets colder. They need these things, the new costs and stuff like that. So I think it's going to affect people who are on a fixed income, the retirees and stuff a lot more than it will people like us who can actually affect our own income by producing more some level, right, in business or whatever. Right. So this will have a huge impact, which is the concern for a lot of people.
Right.
Yeah, I have solar, so it hasn't been an issue. I recently got it, so prior to that, I was lucky to be grandfathered into a program, so it raised, but it still kept it there. Now, what I'm hearing from a lot of my colleagues who have like solar and different things like that, they're talking about the gas. The gas bill has like freaking tripled or something. Like I have a buddy who was paying like $70 a month, same usage and everything. And then the very next month, it was up to like $240. He thought there was some kind of issue or something went wrong. He called and everything, but they say that price is going up. So it's just one of those things, it has to stop somewhere. That's why I'm glad that they're going to do this audit that's coming out. I believe in March is when they're expecting it to come out. So that should tell the tale. Something is up, because everyone's complaining about it. If I remember correctly, I think San Diego, I can't remember if it's San Diego or the state of California itself, has the highest electric bills in the whole United States. It's something different there.
Yeah, but this is what I share a lot of times with people. Like we can't fight that. No matter what you say, you can go, you can storm, you can storm the downtown in the city and county and stuff like that. But if you have a business, you need to focus on your revenue, your income, you need to push. I did a business training on that. I talked about that quite a bit. Like this is the time for, if you have a business and you can increase your revenue, whether it's sales or whatever it is that you do, focus on making more money over this next year and push into that instead of focusing on this. You can't stop this, but you can focus on it. So that's you, investor or not. So,
Absolutely. I completely get it. Yeah. So one of the things that I want to mention first and foremost is that I forgot to mention that we're live. So I want you guys and everyone that's watching, if you have questions for Rafael, questions for Victor, please ask, because the whole point of us doing this live is so that you can get questions on demand, right? Just kind of like your Amazon packages, you guys, right? Like everybody wants those packages yesterday, right? So I think it's important to understand that we're here so that, so that everyone can ask questions. And while I'm at it, I'm going to transition to our Q&A section of the show. So
Nice.
I can get back to the local news when we don't have any specific Q&A questions, because I think, again, the local news is something that we all can talk about. We can share. The whole point of this platform is that you get real estate news from the professionals who are on the streets, walking, boots on the ground. You know what I mean, guys, right? So
Right. I just
right.
want to make a comment, before questions come in.
Yeah.
Like if somebody was here and they heard what Vic said a while ago, one thing Vic said to me a little while back that just made so much sense, and it's kind of off of that first question that you asked him when he was first in the segment about why multifamily. And one thing that he said, and it always sticks out to me, just in terms of like if you're an investor and earning and different things like that. And there was an example he gave about the roof. If you got a roof, right, and you're an investor, and let's just say if it's a single family, well, you have one stream of income coming from under that roof. Why have that one single roof when you could have that same roof with 10, 15, or 20, units underneath, which also, provides housing for people. So once he said that to me, it really, really clicked, because in my mind, I've been around a lot of investors from different states, because while we were lending in 42 of the 50 states, and they have, 5, single family homes, right? Something like that. And that's 5 different roofs, right? And look what they had to go through to get that. It just made more sense with the multifamily. Like Vic's kind of like changed my whole thinking on that. That's what I'm going to be investing in, that's what my grind and hustle is for, so
100%.
Yeah, I thought I'd throw that out there.
Absolutely. I think it's a great comment. And I think it's important to know that, we're bringing in these big guns like Victor Bell, such that they can inspire you, someone who's interested in, and I'm not saying you, Raphael, but I'm talking about you home watching us, inspire you to actually make some money in this business, because if you listen to Victor Bell enough, he makes you feel bad for not making enough money. This is the guy.
He's working.
So it's working. So you're not working hard enough.
For sure.
All right, so let's get the show on the road, huh? Q&A. People are already asking questions. So, Victor, can you share any tips or advice for new investors looking to invest in multifamily properties in San Diego? That's an obvious one. I think let's hear what you have to say, Vic.
Sure. Yeah. First things first, always get educated. This is the time to learn. You can, watch YouTube videos. You can buy books. I got a book online. You can buy that. You can watch YouTube videos by anybody, really. But the first thing, if you're new, is you need to educate yourself on what you're doing. While I love multifamily real estate, there's a lot of details that go into it. You can invest by yourself. You can invest with a partner. You can invest with someone like us, depending on, whether you're accredited or not. But it really does start with education. So I wouldn't suggest for anybody to try to hurt their way through it, especially in a market like San Diego, which is highly competitive, and compared to some other markets, it's a lot more expensive. So that would be the first thing. I always tell people: first, educate yourself. Second, get with someone who knows what they're doing and latch on to them and learn.
Perfect.
So
Perfect. And
thanks, Charlie, for tuning in. I appreciate you.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm gonna just throw you in there, Ralph. And I'll if you want to add any tips other than just making sure your money's in line.
Right. Well,
you know what I mean? Like, get pre-approved.
Yeah, I was about to say you can get depending on where you're going with it. The one thing that I'll piggyback off real quick for this gentleman, which is what Victor said at the end, and that's, man, get a mentor, right? Especially when you're looking to invest and learn a certain type of investing. Having that mentor and their experience, it's valuable and it's priceless. So some people have, they hit their head, so to speak, so much, and they became very good at what they do because they had to go through a lot of trials and tribulations, right? But if you have a mentor, when you know this is where you want to go and what you're going to do, it'll make it so much easier because they have the experience. I forgot which Greek philosopher said it, but it may have been Socrates. I can't remember, but he said something to the fact of spend your leisure reading other men's work so you can get easily what they labored hard for. It's something like that. And man, I've never forgot that. I remember that being in college and I heard that in philosophy, and I actually didn't want to take the class anymore because I wanted that to be it. I didn't want to learn anything. It made so much sense, And I'm like, man, that makes a lot of sense. So you can get easily what they labored hard for. And immediately, not too long after that, I ended up running across Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, which took about 20 years to put together. That was a perfect example that went with that quote. He labored hard for 20 years getting all that information. All you have to do is sit down and read it. So,
right.
Not to go off on a tangent, and I just threw that out there because I have no problem.
No, definitely. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I think excuse me, the quote that it reminds me of is that spend your time now doing the things. Oh man.
All right, you got water?
You need to call someone?
I was about to say, right? Send a quick text.
Leave that live. Don't choke to death live. We don't want to.
Yeah. That's the stuff that just happens live. Spend the time doing the things that people aren't willing to do now, so that you can do the stuff that they can't do in the future. That's just
Right.
that's in the same breath, right?
Right.
Absolutely. Great question, though. Thank you for that.
All right, cool. All right, we have another question. I think I'm going to leave you up here, Ralph, to answer it. What neighborhoods are the best to invest in San Diego? I think that's likely to be one of the first questions in since we're doing these shows, right? So what is it?
Yeah. So, but believe it or not, that sounds like an easy question, but it's not. Because it's an individual. It's an individual thing. When you say what neighborhoods are best, it all depends on first what you call best. What range are you in? Because San Diego is very, very diverse. So everywhere, as I mentioned earlier, in Southern California or in San Diego, I would consider to be a good place to invest if that's what you're looking to do. So it just depends. You have to have a little bit more information. So of course, if it's like what Vic does, multifamily, then where is it? What is it located next to? Is it next to a hospital? Is it next to a shopping center and different things like that? So you have to know what market you're in when it comes to that investing. So is something being built up? Do I want to be downtown? Am I looking for traffic and different things like that? Or if it's solely, about profit, how much value add am I going to add to this? So if I want to go to an area that's not, heavily priced, or highly priced, can I come in behind that, add some value add to this property and then start to get a profit that way? So it's a tricky question, and one that, believe it or not, I never give that type of advice to anyone, like what area is the best. It all depends on the scenario. It's kind of like a pre-approval. Once then I can tell you the best area to invest for what you qualify for.
Right, exactly. How much can you afford, first of all? Because if you're
right.
if you're on a I don't know, national city budget, but trying to buy something in La Jolla, then it's probably
right. Yeah,
right?
It's every spectrum. Yeah, it's every spectrum here. So it just depends on where you are, what you got. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Well, hey, we're gonna flip that into something that Victor can answer. Specifically for multifamily, Victor, is there neighborhoods that you see better than others in terms of you're in that investment?
Well, it depends on your investment strategy. Like we said, like when I look at an asset, I'm looking at a location as it relates to the neighborhood. So yes, I like what's considered B+ areas, which are a little nicer areas. So then it like I said, it depends on where there's. So Charlie, first off, start where you live. I tell everyone that, like, just stay where you live at. That neighborhood, you drive it all the time. Where your house is as it relates to driving down the street, going to the store, and then taking us another way home and go, I don't really like to drive that way because it's not so nice, or it's really nice and I like to drive by the beach going home that way. So then once you do that, you have a better idea of what you're looking for, like Raph said, because investing is a personal experience. Because what I look at, and I looked at, some buddies of mine's investment opportunities, and I'm like, man, these are nice. In the back of my mind, I'm like, I would never invest in this, like ever. Like it's just not that it's bad because, they're contractors or renovation guys. I actually like nice properties, apartment buildings, single family houses. I want those things. So those neighborhoods are going to be indicative to that. Personally, multifamily, B-class properties, great locations, irreplaceable locations. So that way I know for a fact people will always want to live there. That's an investment. Now, if you're starting off, you may want to cut your teeth on something that may not be so nice. You may not care because you see a money opportunity. So investing money in real estate and making money with real estate are two different choices, which is why, to Ralph's point, you have to know what you're doing. So it's the equivalent of his pre-approval letter. You're pre-approved based on your choices by saying, okay, I won't, these things matter to me based on what my goals are. So investments in San Diego neighborhoods, there's great ones. There's not so great ones. It really just depends on what your skill set is and what your investment tolerance is going to be.
Got it. Yeah. Well said. Well said. So
we
much of
but my bad. We just didn't give you a solid because we don't want to incriminate ourselves. Like, don't go here.
Yeah. No, I think so word of advice when you're talking to any financial professional, it always depends, right? Because everyone has different tastes. Everyone has different tastes. Everyone has different risk tolerances, right? 100K rehab might mean nothing to someone, but if a 25K rehab for the first time they've done it is the world, right? So it's like it's really all a matter of perspective. So until we get some more questions that we can answer, I'd like to just go back to another one of these news headlines that we saw because I think it's certainly relevant. So San Diego is currently navigating the first year of regulating short-term rentals. So as we all know,
this is
the problem with short-term rentals, everybody, is that if you're buying property specifically to rent it out to tourists, you're giving people who live in the community or live in the area less opportunity to own that piece of property or even live in that piece of property on a 12-month lease. So I think this is something that both of you can comment on, because quite frankly, I've been seeing financing requests for multifamilies and they're going to use all units for short-term rental.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. So,
crazy what they do.
Yeah, please comment. Let's see what.
All right. And we've talked about this. I'm from Hawaii. So this actually happened in Hawaii years ago. I just bought a property in Hawaii that was in downtown Waikiki that was used as a vacation rental when they ended that, and naturally. So what this is going to do is, to Raph's point, and Ruben, I'm sure you're going to see this as well. A lot of people 2 years ago bought these properties that made sense because they were short-term rentals, Airbnbs, VRBOs. And as that gets dissipated, where you can't do it the way that you thought, so you're not going to make 10 grand a month on your deal, but your mortgage is, you overpaid, so you didn't care. That's going to matter. And you're going to find a flood of those assets coming to market. Now, when they come to market, they're going to be condos and they're going to have HOAs and homeowners. Like they're going to have all these other maintenance things go along with it that would now make that asset that's just a straight rental not profitable. And people are going to dump them. So that's what's going to happen. That's what happened. I mean, that happened in Waikiki. It happened in Honolulu. It happened all over Hawaii, which is what I said earlier. San Diego is very similar to what I've already seen. San Diego is 10 years behind what I've already experienced. And I wish I would have bought more assets in irreplaceable locations in places like San Diego, Hawaii, because those deals are going to come up. They're going to be deals you didn't even think were ever going to be for sale, and they will be. And if you aren't ready, you will miss them. But this is going to be indicative to the beginning of that. This isn't about is my thought. This is not about homeowners not getting an opportunity to buy. This is about bigger hotels, they're competing now. So Airbnb, VRBO, Hilton, all these other people, they have that too. So once a small guy starts to compete against those guys, they have the money to step in, take that away. They work with municipalities and cities and go, hey, we're not getting this. Why is this happening? San Diego is a huge tourist attraction. So do you think the big boys want their pockets cut into? I'm sorry. I hold off on certain things. I'm like, hey, here's what's happening. You don't want to play this game, don't play it. But
Guys,
this is serious.
yeah, no, guys, this is great, right? This makes it such that you're here, you're investing, you're seeing what's going on, you understand how these companies work, and you understand that, like, hey, this is the news, been under the news, right, guys? Like,
Right.
right?
Right.
So,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that because I'm like, yeah, if you're a
No,
mom,
that's it.
you want to compete, there you go. This is what's happening. You'll get the rug snatched
Mhm.
up underneath you. And then you're going to cry later. Oh, investors came and stole my assets, stole my deal. They didn't. This is already aware. So you got to be aware. That's why I tell people small deals don't work. You got to go bigger. If you can't go bigger by yourself, go bigger with somebody like myself or somebody else. This is happening to all of us. You got to play this game.
got it.
Got to play it. Anyway,
Raphael, you want to add to anything to that?
No, that's it. No, Victor said it. I'm surprised it took so long. Honestly, I knew it was coming. We all knew it was coming. You can't basically, in my opinion, take money out of the big boys' pocket. It happens so much and so long, they start to feel it. Checking in and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if it's down. I don't have proof, but I know personally when I go a lot of places with my family, or my kids' sport teams and different things like that, we do the Airbnb thing. And years ago, I said, "Oh, I wonder how long this is going to last," because it started to get out of control. Like we had one recently, well, a little while back, here locally, because sometimes we'll do what we call a little staycation. We'll just go and grab something down by the beach and stay there and hang out. And I was surprised. It was actually owned by a corporation. Had like cleaning crews and all this other stuff. And I was like, huh. And I said, okay, well, this is going to cause a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I said, this is going to cause a problem. And sure enough, the problem is here. And now we're seeing it May 1st.
You see a mass exodus of Mission Beach and Pacific Beach.
Mm.
A lot of those properties that have been in families for years has never changed hands. The kids don't live here. Parents are already passed away. It's passed on. There's been a vacation rental that's being able to be operated by some of the sites that are online. They're going to start coming to market for well overpriced, and they're going to, they may be 2 million, 2.4. They're going to trade at 1.6, 1.8. Still valuable assets because they're near the beach, but these are assets that weren't going to be available because the revenue was generating the wantingness of these properties for families. And as that goes down, they're like, hey, we'll just take money and move it on to a multifamily property.
Right.
Got it.
Which is where that income originally came from.
Right.
This is new. These are businesses. They're not real estate deals.
Right. All right. Well, hey, one last news headline, and then we're gonna get to one question specifically about multifamily, Vic. But specifically, obviously, we all know communities are essentially suffering from the demand of housing. So, just from me and Raphael's perspective on the financing end, it's been harder than ever to finance new construction, simply because the complexities of the whole process, it really is very much dependent on future value. So, what is going on with the home building, Raphael? Do you have any specific thing to add in regards to what's happening here in San Diego?
You already hit it, man. It's that future value. You build these properties, prices of everything was up. I think a while back, plywood was up like over 200%. So, you have to build them. They have to sell. It has to be profitable for the builders. And now with it being uncertain with interest rates and different things like that, it's just, I call it, I toss it up to being, uncertainty. So like I know builders who have basically stopped and they're just controlling a lot of things that are on their books. They're not originating new ground ups right now. So it's going to be interesting to see where it goes, and how it starts back and when and if it starts back, because there are a lot of plans. But like you say, everything is slowed way down now.
Perfect. Any commentary to that? Have you seen slowdown or stalls and plans and building multifamily units or new ones, Vic?
No, not necessarily with the multifamily as much. I think in the single family residential, multifamily is going to go through that. But I think what's, and I'm just assuming, I'm not a builder. I don't build. I've never built. I actually don't want to wait that long for our money. So it's not attractive to me. But I have friends who are builders, and that it takes a really long time, and they have to go through certain market cycles to get a lot of stuff complete. I personally think what's going to happen is, you got a lot of big boys with a lot of dry powder who actually purchased a lot of build to rent, or they were already rented out. So single family communities that are now rentals. I think because they started putting together credit and bailout funds, I think that's going to keep the market moving. So you're going to have a lot of developers that came in, they started the first process. They got started. That capital is kind of iffy, or the uncertainty about what the market's going to do. But when you have that much dry powder sitting on the sidelines, you got bailout capital for potential developers who don't know what's going to happen and may come at a cost, and now they got a partner. Or you have that same capital is going to be available to say, hey, look, you guys got it through phase 1 and 2. You guys are not sure what's going to happen. We'll fund the rest of the deal, put it together for you. We'll partner on it, and we'll take the rest of the percentage as ownership, or buy you out as a partner. I think that's probably going to be more indicative to what's going to happen to projects that started slow down, that can't get regular based financing from the typical lenders. They're going to have to go to institutional capital that put together these bailout funds and these and credit heavy funds. That's what's going to go. No one's going to let this happen and not take part in the upside.
Got it. Yeah, no, it's amazing. I think it's great. So as I said at the beginning and during this show, it's not just news. I think the news has to be paired with people who are in the business, seeing this happen, so they can kind of give you that background story of what's to come, or even the reality. Sometimes news is out there just to get, just to sell newspapers, right? Really,
clickbait.
It's just clickbait, right? So continue to tune in, because I'm telling you, the one thing that I think is going to really change change in the industry is how fast we get our information. And really, there's no faster way to get information other than virtual, like right now, here and now. Okay. So first off, just wanted to say thank you, Charlie, for the questions. He says thanks back. So that's another amazing thing about live video. Really amazing.
Appreciate you.
We have another question that I think is going to be super pertinent and helpful for anyone that is going to start their investment career, and specifically towards multifamily. So I'm going to bring that one up.
Sure.
So it's from Facebook. It says, Vic, how do you go about finding and evaluating potential multifamily properties in San Diego? That's very general, but obviously it's what you do. So he wants to know.
Yeah. So again, I'm at a different perspective. So I deal with brokers. I know all the buyers in the market, but me finding deals and evaluating potential multifamily property, it all comes through brokers. Brokers are your partners. I know when you're a small guy, they say brokers and people like that ruin deals and ruin deals. That's incorrect. We said it earlier, Raf, Ruben, this is a team sport in multifamily. No one really takes you serious unless you do have a broker on your side. They know every deal, every transaction, every owner in the market. So if you're going to be finding deals and evaluating the potential multifamily, you can go online to Google that. You can go to LoopNet. You can go to any website and find a deal, Zillow, whatever. But that's just so you get familiar with what you're looking at. But if you're going to find an actual deal, call a broker, have them have a conversation with you, and then get real information. Kind of like Ruben said, they are legitimately the live resource you need. So I don't think anybody should skip that. There's great brokers out there. They really are. If you talk to them, you'll find they're so much knowledgeable. I rely on them more than I rely on myself. So I hope that answers your question. But if you're going to do it yourself, look online. They're out there. You can look at them. But if you're new and you don't know what you're looking at, you will call a broker prematurely, ask questions, and they will know you don't know what you're doing. So just learn from someone who knows what they're doing, just like Ruben said. I think it's the smartest thing to do. So thanks for that. That is a great question. I didn't start off like that, but I'm smarter now.
Yeah. Well, I think, and I'll let Rafael add to this because it's super important. I think this is the basis of essentially what it means to get a hold of a great investment. It takes a lot of different people. It takes people who are knowledgeable control and know these areas like the back of their hand. That's why, again, this is news that we're talking about in San Diego County. We're not talking about Dallas, Boston, Massachusetts. We're not talking about Dallas, Texas. We're talking about San Diego real estate news that relates to real estate investors. So,
Right.
Raphael, do you want to add anything to it?
No, that's it. I mean, all I can say is that, hey, man, it's coming from Victor. He's the expert. Make those relationships. I say that as well on our side and on the conventional side. Make those relationships. Of course, you have to have your finances and everything in order, or enough partners. If you can't do it by yourself. And one thing that I will say is you have to remember also, like when you're dealing with the lenders, like myself, in essence. We're partners, and if you get into the business and you start looking at the finance side of it like that, like, hey, I'm partnering up with this person, like not think that, we're sitting behind the desk with a gavel or a stamp, wondering how many loans we can deny today, like how many can we deny? No, it doesn't work that way. But, sometimes, especially new investors have a tendency to think that we're opposite, like they're going against us. No, we want to get this done together, as a team. And I think if you keep that in mind, get with the right brokers and, basically they become like a part of your team, eyes and ears, and get the finances, in line and look at them as a team as well. I mean, you'll be good to go. And that mentor, don't forget, get that mentor. It's important. It's very, very important.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll try to wrap everything that you guys said in a bow and close out the show at the same time. So I think when you're talking about finding deals is one thing, evaluating is a completely other thing as well. There's a lot of different ways you can evaluate it. Obviously, if it needs work, you need to have a general contractor. If it needs, who knows, electrical system, you're going to need to talk to an electrician, right? So there's just so many different facets and people that are involved. We want to be, and if you're someone who fits the mold that you're out here educating people about what they need to be doing in order to succeed, you belong here. So I'm going to just make one last pitch and let people know that, hey, we are looking for people who are actively seeking real estate professionals to be local community investors, similar to what Raphael and Victor are doing here. We're literally working to attack the market and in a way, because again, my future analysis of what this is going to be, this industry is going to look like, is that we're all going to be on our phones looking for information, the latest information of what new investment just came up or maybe just became available, on market, off market. Who can I talk to? Who can I work with to evaluate these deals? Well, we're going to be doing that too, guys, in the future. So there's a lot of things to come. I'm excited to be able to essentially not just share my knowledge and network with you, people like Victor and Raphael, but at the same time talk real estate. Because again, like you said, I mean, I was at something you were doing last night, Victor.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs have energy. They're excited. They see possibility, and like I love being around that. I love being around people who see a future for themselves. So I'm gonna give you guys have been great guests. I'm gonna give you both the opportunity to close out and essentially share what you're up to. Victor, I'll let you go first, and then just make sure you leave enough time for Raphael.
Yeah, absolutely. Super short. You know what? If anybody's interested in, anything for you, you're welcome to go to our site. You can go to bell-capital.com. That's bell-capital.com. And, there's two ways to get in contact with us. One, you can click a button, schedule a call, or next you can click a button and just kind of go into our investor site and you can take a look at what we have there. You got to be accredited to invest. The other thing that you can do is you can go to bell-capital.com/book. And you can download a free digital copy of our book. Love to have you get that. Answer any questions that you may have after you do that. Feel free to reach out to us at any way. But like I said, my big thing is hopefully meet enough people who are interested in investing money and partnering with us at Bell Capital. That is my number one purpose in life right now, because we're looking to close this fund out soon and start fund 2. So that's mine. And any way I can help anyone out, feel free to find me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Google, whatever.
Same thing,
guys. It won't be hard to find. He won't be hard to find.
Not at all. Awesome. Hopefully, I'll be like that soon. Raphael Davis, Black Belt Mortgage Pro. Hit me up, Raphael at ddcapital.biz, or you can shoot me an email at blackbeltmortgagepro@gmail. I'm always available, always ready to answer. Hit me up, and I'll have you guys covered.
Awesome. All right. Well, hey, I'm just gonna quickly close out the show. This is the first of many. Really, just bringing you amazing information about where you're located, but also where you're investing. Just want to remind you guys, real estate's local, and everyone has a local community that they invest in. Thank you so much. Make it a great day. Vic, Raphael, thank you so much.
Take care, guys.
I really appreciate you having me.
Take care, guys.
All right.
Make it happen.
All right. Bye.